We've met the teams, we've got the numbers. Let's hand over to our commentary team of Alex Lely and Ted Lerner.
If you like the very best in 9-ball pool, you couldn't go wrong with this team. The Philippines, perhaps the finest pool playing nation in the world, taking on the upstarts from Qatar. Waleed Majid on the left, Bashar Hussain, two quality players. Race to 7, winner breaks. And you know, last year, actually in 2015, our last World Cup of Pool, it was Qatar upsetting the USA and making it to the quarterfinals. And Team Philippines, which featured Carlo Biado, one of our Filipino players with Warren Kiamco, got knocked out in the first round. So Qatar actually went further. So, but you still got to figure that on paper, Philippines is the favorite.
Thank you. Race to 7, first rack. Philippines to break.
Never seen this young man, Johann Chua, one of the finest young talents on the pro circuit today.
Beautiful break. 3/4 ball hit. Steering that cue ball after contact towards the long rail. But the 1 ball hit the point of the side pocket, bounced back. And now Biado, Carlo Biado, is looking if he likes to kick at this 1 ball. Really?
Filipinos.
I thought a 1 rail kick shot, but what he was pointing at, oh, this is your shot to play. A 2 rail kick shot attacking the 9. Man, that's an aggressive shot.
He may have gotten away with it.
Wow, I mean, especially in doubles play, you don't attack a shot like that without getting consent from your partner. So I'm sure they have talked this over and they have decided together to come with aggressive shots.
That's Filipino style. They, you know as well as anyone, Alex, that they're perhaps the best at kicking the ball, and they play a very loose form of pool. Nothing phases them, except when they're playing in front of 20,000 people in the Philippines, and they have all that pressure on them. Sometimes I think Filipinos prefer to play overseas, because when they play in big tournaments at home, it's just too much pressure.
And they play with a lot of pride. They love representing their country. But you might have been talking about 07.
Yeah.
So Waleed Majid had that first shot.
Extension call.
Hit the cue ball maybe a 1/4 tip too low. A little too much draw on the ball. Hit the knuckle. Now Bashir needs to hit 2, 3 rails to get to the 2 ball. Nice hit.
Oh, very nice result.
Hello. Well, it's a good hit with a good speed. I mean, there were easier routes to get to the 2, but he chose this because he felt this would give him the most probability of getting a resave. Because the cue ball and or the 2 ball would travel towards all those balls.
Looks like it's going to be a pretty fast play here by both sides, which is always good.
Ooh. Object ball first. If you're not sure about the cue ball when playing a safety, play object ball first. So the 2 ball should have ended in the middle of the short rail to at least not leave an open shot. I think plain ball cut, come back to where the cue ball is now. difficult to... Oh, okay, he pointed out where he tried to go, where he tried to hold the cue ball. They play so quick, it's difficult to tell what they're trying to play.
Oh, man. Wow. There is that Filipino kicking prowess that they are famous for.
A cut to the right. It's a very compact style of play, style of hitting the ball, Carlo Biado. Doesn't have that characteristic Filipino jiggle that we know from HIයෙන් and from Busti.
Yeah, the real flowery stroke.
Yeah, but that's old school, like Corteza or Colo, Biado. They're all very compact. They don't move the cue so much when they're doing their warm-up strokes. Like Biado, he doesn't move at all. It's almost like he stands still, addresses, and then pushes his arm through the ball. This is a difficult... No. This is a nice position of the 6 when you're kicking at it. The distance between the rail and the 6 allows you to get comfortably underneath the 6 off of the second rail. He clipped it. I don't know if that was his intention or a misjudgment. A very dynamic first rack, that initiative moving back and forth.
Important, it's just a race to 7 winner breaks. Qatar especially does not want to fall behind. Because when this Filipino team gets going, it's like a freight train barreling down the tracks. They play at such a high level. They have an incredible knowledge of all facets of the game. We've already seen twice in this rack they have no fear of daring kick shots
or playing the thinnest of cut shots. Bobwit, they call him, Johann Chua. It's almost a 90-degree angle. Using the full pocket there. The 7 wiped its feet before dropping.
So a testy battle in rack 1 goes to the Philippines. Johann Chua, Carlo Biado. They lead 1-0 over Qatar.
Ted, you live in the Philippines?
Yes.
And I mean, you're always around top pool. I mean the biggest tournaments, but do you also sweat like local actions or local tournaments?
Yeah, sometimes. There's always action in the Philippines, wherever you go. I mean, there's the local tricycle and tuk-tuk drivers probably as good as some of the players in this tournament. That's how good they are. You know, you've been there, Alex. And one of the reasons, I know the answer. I was going to see how test your knowledge of Philippine pool. Do you know why Filipinos are so renowned as great kickers of the ball? Any idea?
Well, because they play rotation.
Ah, you got the answer.
Yeah, they play 15-ball rotation. I love that game. We've played it a lot in Holland.
So there's a lot of traffic on the table. Similar, you go 1 through 15. It's a similar game, not exactly the same.
Actually, it's the only game where all balls are used and the numbers on the balls have a meaning, like in 9-ball, but then 15 balls are used and it's who gets 61 points first.
Right, and so with 15 balls on the table, playing a rotation game similar to 9-ball, they have to get very creative in moving that cue ball around. I don't think jump cues for many years have been popular.
You're only in rotation, you're only allowed to jump with your full cue if you see part of the ball.
That's right. Yeah.
And with the kick shot, there's no need to hit a rail after contact. So, and what I also like, because club players, recreational players of lower level, they play rotation, so they learn to spin the ball a lot. They gotta load up that cue ball to get to the other side of the table on that wet cloth. Whereas in Europe and the USA, beginners, club players, they play a lot of 8-ball. No spin, a little bit of stun, a little bit of draw. That's why those Filipino players can put so much juice on the ball.
Well, there you go. A lesson for you in sort of the differences amongst the different players of the world and how they approach and play pool. I mean, it's just so hardcore in the Philippines. The guys play for hours on end.
Yeah, I love it. Last time I was there, that's about 10 years ago. Every day I went to the pool room, almost forgetting I was involved in the World Championship. I just love those long hours. Then I played against Biado, actually not knowing him. I can say he ran right through me.
Looks quite young. He's actually 35 years old. And he's been really at the top or near the top of the Philippine pool scene and the worldwide pool scene for about 5 years now. He was ranked #1 in 2015 for a while in the world rankings.
See, a very simple cue action. And he got the snooker. Now Majid is favored to hit this 2-ball. And managed to not leave an open shot.
Well, this is not where Qatar wants to be, on the back foot like this, playing safety against the Philippines.
Chua, they're not getting enough spin on the ball. Who wanted to come around those balls, hide behind them. Tricky safety here. It's difficult to create an angle for the cue ball to find hiding. He did so because that 2-ball through a thin contact on the brown 7 kept on rolling. An eye on the clock by Carlo Biado. There's a 30-second shot clock, and once per rack the players can request for an extension. So he's probably going to do that.
Extension called.
Fantastic pot. 3, but it's open. So Alex, that jump shot, a lot of people say with the latest equipment now that it's actually become an easy shot. What's your opinion on that? Is it?
Well, this shot was it was easier than this shot that Chua has to play now. Well, for me at least. It also depends on the player, but it looks spectacular, the jump shot. But where the 2-ball was sitting in the front of the pocket, you're supposed to make it. I think if we'd let Biado play that shot 10 times, he'd make it 7, 8 times.
But how does the, this latest equipment that with the, the carbon fiber and the, all the scientific stuff behind the equipment, how much does that make it easier to execute jump shots?
Yeah, for jump shots a lot. I mean, it's a specific stroke, the jump shot. You have to generate a lot of speed through the ball with little cueing action. It has to be very short And that's difficult, and accelerate it. And if you have a very hard jump cue, that helps. Material helps.
Well, the legend Filipino Efren Reyes and even Bustamante, I don't think I've ever seen them use a jump cue. You ever seen Efren use a jump cue?
Yeah, but I pinched myself to make sure if I was dreaming or not. They're human.
Completely blew that one. That was missed by a lot.
He missed it, but adding to that, he had a rough contact, a skid or a kick. Look at the 8-ball turn. You know, the balls at the moment of contact had more friction than they were supposed to. Now a fine cut shot for Majid. One-stroked it.
Very nicely done.
Luckily for them, the contact on the 9 was very thin. So this is looking to be 1-all.
Bashar Hussain gives the Qataris their first rack of the match. It's now tied at 1 apiece. Just what they needed. They don't want to let this match get away from them.
Chua's missed 8 was a consequence of the misplayed position by Biado. Because that shot from the 7 to the 8 wasn't placed good. Biado put the pressure on Chua. And other teams, we've seen them high-fiving or making some sort of contact or communication in the chair, even after a mistake.
All right, there we see Qatar made it to the quarterfinals in our last World Cup of Pool in 2015. That was their best result. 11, 12, 13 did not participate, but just indicative, the result last in 2015, indicative of how pool has really grown in the Middle East and Qatar specifically. That's what happens when federations and governments invest money in sport. You usually get a good result somewhere down the line, and the World 9-Ball Championship has been held 7 times in Qatar, and they hold all kinds of tournaments there and around the Middle East, and it's paid benefits for all the players there.
And they have national trainers and a national training facility to work with the players. Is Robert still there, that pool coach from Taiwan?
No.
But he's been there a long time.
Yeah.
Gabika, he was an assistant coach, I think.
Tonio Gabika was there. He's not. He left, but they still got a very active program.
Okay.
So Chua doesn't like this position on the 1, the position where Qatar has played the push out to. Now Majid can overcut the 1. Oh man.
Foul stroke.
Oh.
Ball in hand.
Well, he did make contact with the 1 on the way back, but it didn't hit a rail. Nothing hit a rail. So something has to hit a rail. So that's ball in hand for Philippines.
Oh, that's a painful mistake.
Yeah.
That's a painful
well,
mistake.
Well, you said he was going to overcut it.
Yeah,
he tried to overcut it.
You know, the shot, I think the shot he tried to play for overcut it, hit the long rail with the 1, and then with the cue ball towards the 2 and 9, but possibly he feared the scratch in the top pocket. The thick contact on the 1. And fear is never a good advisor. You know, fear helps you to be aware, but oh, here the carom on the 9. A little bit of right spin on the cue ball to help it turn towards the pocket. And that's an easy 2-1 for Team Philippines.
Nicely done from Carlo Biado. It was sitting right out there like a duck. So, Team Philippines leads it 2-1 here at the World Cup of Pool.
One-two bets. 1-2 bet sponsor. One-two bet sponsors the World Cup of.
Johann Chua on the break.
Unlucky kiss there. Squatted the cue ball nicely. Now, what is the position of the two? Can we tell by his facial expression? I think from where the 4 is, or approximately center table, they'll be able to make the 2. Playing with loading the cue ball up with backspin to slow down the cue ball. That's a nice view there. Wow. That's, for me, that's a sign of a lack of confidence. A real confident player would have killed that cue ball. And he did not feel confident enough, or that 2 ball does not go to the top, to the pocket on the left. He's showing signs of vulnerability, Carlo Biado.
Now, you often talk about that, Alex, about how it's easier to hit the ball harder because everybody's just full adrenaline out here. The hard thing is to slow your game down in this kind of pressure atmosphere.
Yeah, finesse is the first thing to go, and that's why Ralph Souquet has won so much. I mean, Ralph Souquet technically is not the best player in the world. You know, he has won a lot because he has a big heart and a lot of knowledge. He's a fighter and a lot of technical skill, but mostly because when there's 3 balls on the table, he can divide the pressure on the last 2-3 shots instead of going for the 1 big shot on the 7 and get it over with. So he could play that 1 ball with finesse and then a longer 2 ball with finesse. You know, he had that quality to play under the highest pressure and keep on soft spinning the ball. He has, and he will, and he will in this tournament, pairing up with Thorsten Homan.
Nice shot there from Waleed Majid.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, does that 7 ball go to the right-hand pocket?
It's quite a simple recipe in this sport. Make balls on the break. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. You must limit the mistakes. When you're presented with opportunities like this, you got to get out.
Good stroke by Majid. The 7 ball goes. Now, does Bashir have enough angle on that 4? I don't think so. Too straight for comfort. So the alternative would be to draw back towards the short rail and play position for a safety. Rattled that. You know, he was undecided. He was looking at that safety, and then decided, and maybe 9 seconds later already pulled the trigger on the 4 ball.
I don't know how.
And that's all due to the shot clock. Normally, or without a shot clock, he would have walked around the table, take some extra time, assert himself. Difficult position here from the 4 to the 7.
Too hard.
7-9 combination to the side pocket. I don't think it's there. Now, if that 7 goes, he can still attack it.
Extension call.
Now it's lined up the 7-9 about 2 balls over the side pocket.
Wow. No.
Oh, so this is what he did. We call that throw. The balls being so close to one another that there's friction between them. And he used the 7 ball to push that 9 ball offline. And he even overdid it.
The Qataris quickly down to clear the table. Big opportunity for them.
Yeah, this was the second time that Carlo Biado misplayed position from the 7 to the 8.
We're tied at 2 in this race to 7, and Qatar will be back up, and I have the feeling this is going to be a bit of a topsy-turvy affair here. There you see, going for the 9 and just barely missing.
So the 7-9 was lined up to the other side of the pocket. But if they're frozen or almost frozen, they sort of cling to each other, the balls. You can use that to manipulate the second ball. Now
Thank
Waleed
you, rack
looking
5.
to manipulate 9
It's
balls
hard to
and
break. 2 racks
get
each.
at least one of them into the pocket. The 7 ball.
Wow.
Monster
Absolutely
break.
Monster.
2 balls down. And a big shot for Bashir from the 1 to the 2. Now he has to totally
Keep the noise
commit
down,
to the
please.
shot.
Thank you.
Well, you're not kidding, Alex. This is a very difficult shot on its own. And then he has to get position, bring it down table, the cue ball for the 2.
Yeah, he needs at least 3 rails to get back to the 2.
He almost made that.
Yeah, he played it, you know, played it a little fast, I think. You know, in practice, or you become good at what you do a lot. So if you, on average, use 8 seconds to get ready for a shot, as a player, you should try to use those 8 seconds even when the shot clock is on. Do not rush yourself into the shot.
Snookered there. Very nice jump shot, and had the path going to the 2 ball, but the 8 and the 6 get in the way.
Still jumpable. Not for all. I would kick it in as well. 2 rails.
Oh no. Hit it on the bottom side of the 2 and straight into the pocket. So yet another error from Carlo Biado. Now, Qatar, ball in hand. They must get out. But look at that green 6.
It's a poor shot. Has overrun the mark by at least half a diamond, Majid. Now Bashir has to go around the world. Make the 4 and come around to go towards the 8-6. Underhit it. No, it has the legs. Wonderful shot. And if it doesn't go to 6, stick it to the 8. That's nice. But now, you know, cue ball is good. But that 6 ball is too close to the rail. It's too close to the rail. Get that ball when you're playing a safety out there in the middle of the table.
Harder to hit.
Much then it's like an atoll in the ocean.
That's right, because Chua could use that top short rail there to help him get to the 6.
Well, maybe some players would play a 3-rail shot here, like this.
Foul stroke.
Nonetheless, that was a very good offensive safety from Qatar, and that results in yet another ball in hand.
So the Philippines, from the start of this match, have not succeeded in seizing control over the match. And I'm sure this will cause them to be somewhat unsettled.
Actually, a very well played rack from the Qataris, and they're going to seize the momentum right now with this 9-ball.
Rack 5 goes to Qatar. Majid downing the winning 9 to take a 3-2 lead. And now negative pressure surely will start to kick in to Biado and Chua's head.
2 ball in hands. This one was not well played at all. He misjudged the angle and hit it on the bottom side of the 2, and that just kicked the 1 into the pocket. That's ball in hand. Second one of the rack for Qatar. And that's got to be a big confidence booster for Qatar. And there you see, wow, 3 times a winner, 2006 with the great Efren Reyes and Bustamante. They did it again in 2009 and then in 2013. The winningest side in World Cup of Pool history, the Philippines. The 1 is down and the 8 is down, so Qatar will be shooting at the blue 2.
They have a cut on the 4, so 2-4 combination. I think this was an attempt to pocket the 2 ball there, so there was a window. I really think that on average they have 8-9 seconds left per shot when they pull the trigger in this match. What I'm trying to say is that they play quick. All 4 players play very quick.
Biado missing again. He has yet to find his game.
I think Bashar sees enough of the 2 to bank that 2 towards the 5. Playing a more containing shot, keeping things easy. Kiss pull. They named it on the first instructional video I watched in 1993. Keep it simple and stupid. Joe Kerr from Ohio doing the voiceover.
Joe Kerr. Yeah, the legend.
He was Niels Vijens' first mentor.
That's right. Wow. They leave the 2 ball open for Qatar. Philippines could very well find themselves in a hole here.
Take your extension.
Extension called.
Get in line, stay in line. That's what 9-ball is about. And you know, use that extension to get in line. Just figure out how to position the ball perfectly for your partner from the 2 to the 3. That's good. Now if Bashir can draw back half a diamond to leave a natural angle for Majid to go around the angles. Not enough. Is to force it a little more. Okay, this is the key shot. This is the rack winner. If he plays this well, they're gonna extend the lead. I mean, then they're set up to extend the lead to 4-2.
Well, they are exhibiting a lot more focus than the Philippines.
Yeah, they don't show any sense of urgency. They don't seem to show it, at least.
No, but they're not in stroke. And Qatar is. Qatar, this very pair, in our last World Cup of pool, made it to the quarterfinals. And they had a big upset of Team USA with Shane Van Boning on it in the first round. This 9 to take total control of the match. Qatar leads the Philippines 4-2 in this race to 7 first round match. And we'll have more here at the 12bet.com World Cup of Pool.
One2Bet sponsors the World Cup of Pool.
Indonesia. We might as well just call them England at this point because England A is out. So dry break now. Team Philippines better get it together quickly.
Not a nice shot that Chua needs to play. I would be so scared to foul here. You need to cue absolutely dead straight. Ha! How you like that? Beautiful. So key shot here.
Now, I think we have to keep an eye on Biado. He hasn't been himself.
They've taken a timeout.
Yeah,
They've left the arena. Now this is the most important shot. I think it's easiest to play position for the 4-ball to the lower right hand pocket. So now 3 rails off of the 3 and land there on the long rail. This is the key shot. Too speedy. Now straight in on the 4. This makes life complicated. Life of a pool player. The moment within those 4 rails. Now Suke, I was talking about dividing the pressure. He had the nerve to. He has the nerve to play for the long shot.
Just keep the noise down.
Nicely done. Loaded it up with left-hand spin.
Well, that's the kind of shot that could bring back your confidence.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Nice view there. They need precise position because the 8-ball only has 1 pocket. looking nervy still. This is, you know, it's good enough to leave Biado a longer shot on the 8 ball. Should be good enough. Now let's see how he plays this. He can play it with more spin, coming out 2 rails, or just float it in, plain ball, or drag it. He played it. He rolled it with a little bit of check side. You'll see most professional players doing something with the cue ball. They don't like to hit that ball, plain ball.
Well, it's just in time for Team Philippines. Off a dry break from Qatar. They step up, and their best rack of the match so far. 4-3 now in favor of the Qataris, but it'll be Team Philippines up to break in rack number 8.
Yeah, Chua's shot on the 1 ball set it up. That was the most demanding of all 9 shots. Well, actually, that 4 ball by Biado. Very nice.
So they should be right back in the match now. Confidence-wise, that was a good rack for them. Yeah, Biado's one and only time, 2015 World Cup of Pool with the veteran Warren Kiamko did not go well. They got knocked out in the first round, and it was just bad all around. So, yeah, he was probably thinking about that. It's not easy to get that out of your mind.
Now a big power break there.
He's got the 8 ball down, so they will continue to shoot.
I don't know if they see enough of the 1. If they have a clear view on the 1, they can make it. So he's following the cue ball, coming out of the angle, 2 rails. Never threatening the pocket. It's not working for him. They're looking a little more lively than 20 minutes ago. At least they're talking.
Well played. Bashar Hussain won a Arab 9-ball championship this year, and also in a big Asian tournament, had all the best players from around Asia. Last year, in 2016, he got runner-up and lost to none other than Wu Cha-Ching. Nothing wrong with that. He's really taken his game to another level in the last 2 years. Trains very hard. Both Waleed and Bashar, as well as these 2 Filipinos, were in Shanghai at the China Open.
Oh,
did he get safe? I
poor
don't.
Safety attempt here.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's a big let off.
Sometimes Bashar doesn't. He could take his time. He's got time there to consider what he's doing. He seems to rush things a little bit. Maybe that's just his normal style.
Oh, Carlo Biado is feeling the heat immensely. Immensely. How often do you see a player like him miss shots like these?
Not often.
Twice in the season, away from the cameras.
And every ball he misses, he probably thinks back to his last time here when he played with the veteran Warren Kiamko. And it was just a horrible match for Team Philippines.
Extension called.
Yeah, they call that mental scars. Difficult shot, needs to get that cue ball back. No, and not even that, because then the side pocket looms large. Chose to cinch the ball. But now what? 3-4 combination, super difficult. The 4 is further from the rail than the 3 ball is. He hit the knuckle of the side pocket.
Now,
It looked like
Philippines must get out. Still struggling a bit, especially Carlo Biado.
I think it's amazing. It's amazing what pressure can do.
It's the great equalizer in this sport. Even when the pockets aren't tight, and I've seen it with sometimes the template racking and everyone saying, oh, this is too easy, the table's breaking so easy, anybody can win these tournaments. You know what? Anybody doesn't win these tournaments. Always the best seem to win, and that's because pressure is the great equalizer, for sure.
Barely coming up far enough on the 7.
So Team Philippines back in it, confidence-wise, and they are tied.
Yeah, the shot selection of Qatar to roll in that 2 ball and then play for that 3-4 combination, I didn't necessarily like that. Super difficult shot. They could also have played for a safety. But again, shot clock ticks away. That blotters the mind. I remember the final some years ago when Holland, Niels Vij and Nick Vandenberg played against Boyes and Darren Appleton of England. I mean, without a shot clock, I'm sure Niels and Nick would have run that last rack.
That was
But it's a good thing,
4 racks in.
the shot clock. I like it because it adds to the drama. It's a catalyst.
So Johann Chua tears into the rack. Gets a ball down. Shot on the 1. 2 balls down.
A cut on the 1 or a bank. You will be playing either one.
No 3-point rule anymore. It's 1 on the spot. Rack them, bust them up, and go.
This ball cuts. You can go around the 7 with the cue ball. Nicely done. Hold. Good shot by Biado. Possibly his best shot. No, that was the 4 ball, that big draw shot. Okay, his second best shot of the match. Setting them both up for a rack win if they manage to control their nerves.
Philippines fixing to take control of this match right now.
Almost missed that ball. Whew.
He's living on a high wire. Look at that cue ball move. Now, thin cut here for Carlo.
Now,
I wonder what he's feeling.
Well, it's possible and it's likely he's going to use multiple rails to get to the 8 again to enable himself to hit the ball with a little more authority, a little more speed. Come around the 9 ball. Good shot. And off of the rail towards the 8 ball. That's a nice shot. He's saving the best for last. Gradually starting to look like the Carlo Biado that we all know.
So this 9 for 3 in a row for Team Philippines. They lead it by 1. 2 Filipinos in the crowd here, loving it. 2 away from a spot in the final 16 here at the 12bet.com World Cup of Pool.
HI縁sponsors the World Cup of Pool.
He's doing a Mika with his hand.
Didn't leave it easy.
Nice. No, not nice.
Yeah, you never want to be up against a rail.
Tricky. And where does this cue ball go? What is the natural path? Does he need to be worried about that side pocket?
9 goes. Nicely done by Carlo Biado. It's now 6-4. Philippines firmly in control here.
6-4 the score in favor of the Philippines.
4 in a row for Team Philippines.
Yeah, Qatar had a good chance to go to 5 in the previous rec. That's when they played that difficult, when they attempted that difficult 3-4 combination. In hindsight, better go for the safety next time. But they're not out of it. They only need 3 racks.
It will be
Iraqi 11.
Johann Chua.
Philippines to break, leading 6 racks to 4.
Trying to replicate what his partner just did. Get out of here with the victory.
Phenomenal break, but they won't have a shot on the 1. Qatar will be back to the table.
8 ball is down, so they will be shooting Philippines.
It's a difficult position they have on the 1. Not a cue ball close to the pocket. Limits their options.
Oh, great shot.
Well,
Yeah, position.
Do they see the 2-ball? Yeah, let's say a great shot. Shot to nothing. You know, where the cue ball is, you probably play to seek hiding behind the 5-7. Playing more cue ball than 1 ball.
Extension call.
2-wayer. He misses it, it's safe. Makes it, it's a miracle.
That's actually what you learn in rotation. We discussed rotation before, what you learn a lot. Those 2-way shots that Efren plays all the time. Nice shot. Beautiful shot.
Really nice, with authority and weaving that cue ball. That's true artistry there.
They have saved the best for last.
Look at that. Look at the spin on that ball. That is amazing.
That's a perfect line on the 4. On the correct side of the 4 ball to stun towards the 5. 5 balls left. And then they'll go through to the second round, where they'll wait for their opponent, being the winner between Holland and Hungary. Biado looked weak in the beginning of the match. Now strong as a bull.
That's the way you want to do it. Nobody expects you to play perfect all the time, but it's how you play at the end. When it counts. And they're making it count. This has been an impressive performance in the second half of the match.
Yeah, they've bounced back. They've showed a strong mental game.
Nice cut. Thanking his lucky stars. But it's more than luck. It's great skill from these great Filipinos. They win 7-4 over Qatar. Philippines through to the final 16. Qatar is out.
HIයෙන් Bet sponsors the World Cup of